Hello, I'm Ari, and today we're going to talk about FEYbruary. FEYbruary is a challenge, an art challenge to get you creating, and I'm going to tell you more about it as I sketch out some thumbnails. So let's get started. When I'm sketching, I usually tend to start out with very simple drawings. That just gives me a reminder. So, what is FEYbruary? FEYbruary is a month-long art challenge where creativity, community, and the love of all things Fey come together. So, how do you participate? Well, go to FEYbruary.com and check out the official daily prompt list. That's the first step. And then get creative. So my suggestion is what I'm going to be doing today is taking the prompt list and just sketching out some quick thumbnails. And my thumbnails, I know some people, if you watch people do their sketches, they may be more detailed. I start here with a general idea to remind myself of what I want to sketch out later. So I kind of have maybe a 2 to 4 step process of, I take, let's say the first prompt is fruit, and I kind of had 2 ideas, and so I'm going to, well, I have 3 actually. So I take those just general ideas of what I'm thinking and sketch them out. Or, just like I said, it's a rough sketch because it's not meant to be a drawing. I know some people get really detailed, and sometimes I do later, but first I just get the general idea of what I'm wanting down. So, as I said, so the next step after you've checked the daily prompt list, and that's the official FEYbruary prompt list, is to go out and get creative. So, what's your favorite media? Do you like painting? Do you like drawing? Do you like sewing? Do you like making costumes? A certain character? Do you like makeup or digital art? All of those are options for this art challenge. This art challenge is about getting creative and less about which medium you use. So art challenges like Inktober focus on drawing and then inking your drawings, which is a great challenge. I'm not that great at inking, and so I really love that challenge because it makes me focus on that for 1 month. And for this challenge, I think how I'm going to approach it is I have several mediums that I haven't used on this channel yet. And I really want to do my Fey, so I'm going to focus on several different mediums, so that's an option for you as well. Each day I will post a short video of the time-lapse art that I do, so you can check back here and see what I'm up to, or check me on Instagram at Shamelessly Creative. But just know you can use markers or paints or makeup and work with the prompt each day. Again, it doesn't have to be strictly paper art. So if you work in clay and you want to try to attempt a Fey for each day, feel free to do that. There's really no steadfast rules with this. It is just a prompt list to get you creative for a month and focus on Fey, which I love and maybe you love if you're here checking this video out. So then make sure to share that content, if you're brave enough, go to Instagram or other social media and hashtag your art with the hashtag FEYbruary, or I'll put them on the screen, or February 2020. And then please like, share, and comment on other art that people are creating during this month of February. Comment on other artists' work, be encouraging, and then just repeat that process for the whole month of February. Now, that said, you could choose to do one prompt from the list, or one prompt a week, or every other day, or even make your own list. But I suggest maybe you start out with, if you're new to challenges, just start out with 1 or 2 a week and don't overwhelm yourself with a huge challenge. But let's say you think you can't draw or paint. You have 2 choices then if you want to join along in February, which is 1, you can follow hashtags on social media and just enjoy the artwork that is created, or get a sketchbook and just start drawing. You don't have to show anybody, but just try and allow yourself to make what you may consider bad art, but just begin. Just allow yourself to start. And if you've never done any art or don't feel like you can draw a straight line, just remember, in art there are not very many straight lines. And if you do need a straight line, you can get a ruler. So just be willing to make art that you may not consider perfect. But remember, nobody outside of you knows what you are trying to create. We have an image in our head of what we're wanting to create, and when our artwork doesn't match up to that, sometimes we get really negative about our artwork. But first attempts at art can be scary and intimidating and embarrassing, because you're going to make some bad art. Even if you've been doing this for 20 years, you're going to make bad art on some days, or art that's less appealing to you than the image you had in your head. But know that every artist that you see has had a day one, and I would be thrilled if your day one started during the February challenge. So if you can set aside the fear for the willingness to create, that's a good place to begin. And you can maybe join me on this channel and on my journey to improve my art. And I hope to be brave with you and show you my bad art. So as an example, here's some that did not turn out well. Here's some more that didn't turn out well. With every bad art, there's also better ones. Ones I'm more proud of. Characters that pop out of the page. But, sometimes they're bad. And sometimes they're good. And art is a journey. And today I can make, you'll see throughout the month with my own artwork, there's going to be good days and bad days. There's going to be art that works out and artwork that falls flat. So even I have to be willing to make mistakes, and because that's how I'm going to learn. If I try a technique like inking that I'm not good at, there's a good probability that I'm going to ruin a perfect drawing that I just absolutely love, to be able to gain some of those inking skills that I'm not so good at. And you have to be willing to take that risk sometimes. And it is sad when you ruin something that you've worked on for a few hours or a few days, but in the long run, making those mistakes helps you grow as an artist and learn how to adapt your style to work around things that are difficult for you, or integrate new learning experiences into your current art. So remember, you can post daily, every other day, or once a week, whatever your schedule allows. If you don't feel like posting, share it with your family. Get another family member to join in and be creative with you. I also want to remind you that Fae are not limited to just fairies. So if sweet little fairies are not your thing, think about exploring other mystical and magical beings of the other world. So some of them can get pretty dark and murderous, so that is an option. You may or may not agree with some of the beings that I put on the FEYbruary.com website. Some people feel they're Fae, others do not. But in the spirit of creativity, I think they're all fine. And if you have other ones, comment on this video and give people more ideas. But things like changelings, nymphs, selkies, gnomes, goblins, trolls, banshees, nature fairies, dryads, shapeshifters, water spirits, sprites, stone fae. Again, all of these things and more fall into the realm of fae or magical beings. They're usually nature inspired. If you're not into like the sweet, innocent, or Tinkerbell kind of fairy, know that there's mountain spirits and those water spirits, banshees, valkyries, sirens, elementals that all fall kind of in this category of fae. So be willing to experiment and maybe bring in some of everything into your art this month. So, and here's our official FEYbruary prompt list. You can find that on Instagram. And again, remember, all art mediums are welcome. So how much time is this going to take out of your already busy life? Well, definitely if you're getting started and this is one of your first challenges, I would recommend starting small. This is one of the sizes I like to work in for challenges. It's a 5x5. This is the Handbook Journal Company. It's one of my favorite. It's 128 pages, so about 64 pages if you just want to do singles, and that's how I like to do it. So I can fit a month of art in here. So here is my Inktober. I was able to do all my thumbnail sketches in the front of the book, and then I was able to do all my drawings for the month and more. So sometimes I did a drawing, or I sketched something first and then did another drawing, or I tried different pictures or pictures that didn't turn out, or I decided on a different pose. So like this one was, yeah, so I had this for coat and this for coat. So I was just choosing which one, but as you can see, 31 days fit just nicely in here with a few pages to spare, plus a few extra drawings on several of the days of trying different things, plus all my thumbnails. So that's why I really like this size notebook. It gives me a small page to work on. I practiced doing things that I didn't have the skills to do yet. I want a girl in a snow globe, but I didn't know how to make her face look like it was pressed up against the glass. So this was my attempt, you know, and eventually I just drew a snow cone. Same thing here, was trying for a girl in a snow globe. Again, it didn't work out. I didn't have the skills yet to draw that the way I wanted to. This size notebook is available on Amazon, and when I get to a few of my favorite things video, this will be one of those items that will be on there, is the Handbook Journal. It's a great size to do challenges. It keeps you to a small size, so you're not having to create a huge piece of art, you know, you can just do a small one each day. And I think I'm going to use this size. I'm not 100% sure yet. So if you're just starting out or you're really busy, keep the size small, and you can just cut up size, you know, like 5x5 pieces of paper too. You don't have to get a sketchbook at all. Or, you know, if you're using a different medium, just work as small as possible. But I would aim for no more than an hour art experience or less, especially if you're starting out. More than that starts taking away from other priorities you have in your life. That said, you can work as long as you want to and make the art that you're interested in making. But remember, the challenge is to get you creative on a consistent basis over a month and making more art than you did, say, last month or last year. February starts February 1st and ends on February 29th this year, and it's a leap year, so we get an extra day of art. What do you do with your paintings, drawings, or art? Post them to social media or just share them with your family and friends. And remember to follow those hashtags on social media. If you don't have social media, again, share them with friends and family and try to get them to do the challenge with you. But I would love to see your artwork. Do you have to use the official prompt list? No. And do you have to do the prompts in order? No. They are for inspiration and to use as a suggestion. So if you don't feel inspired by one of the words, skip around or change it for the day. This is about creating your art and learning to inspire yourself, but we recommend, if it's a first challenge, to try to stick to the challenge and do every other day, do one day a week, pick the word that is most inspiring for you that week, and go from there. So normally the prompts will be posted a month before we start. We had a late start this year, but it is up on social media. Go to @Shamelessly Creative on Instagram and you can find that. I have the prompts along with this video, and you can go to www.FEYbruary.com and find the official list there. How do you stay motivated during a challenge like this? This is a really long challenge. So what I suggest is, as soon as possible, plan out your pictures for the month. So that's what I'm doing today, is going step by step through each of the prompts and just getting an idea down on paper. So when the day comes, I'm not struggling for a thought or an idea for that day. I kind of have at least a sense of what I want to do. During October, I found that there's times that I didn't stay with what my idea was. A better idea came along, and so I shifted. So know that even your little thumbnails or sketches that you do of ideas you have are just a working idea. It's a little map to help you get where you're going and remember where to start. So you're not just staring at a blank piece of paper and not knowing what to put on it. So that's how I use thumbnails, as just a jump off point for each day. So I start the month by putting down ideas for each of the prompts, whether it's one idea or 4 ideas. I try to sketch those out quick, just a little composition of what I would like to see on that page for that day. Then from there, when I have time, I start making the sketches. And at that point, you either can sketch right in your sketchbook, or you can sketch on whatever paper you were using to make your thumbnails, and then transfer that either from a window or a light pad that shines through, and you can put that on whatever paper you want to be doing your final drawing. For me, even, I find this big sketchbook less intimidating than sketching on my final paper. So a lot of times I will sketch in here, copy it to a paper. You'll be seeing that for this picture in some upcoming videos. I sketched it here, then I decide, well, you know, that's a nice size to try several mediums with, and so I copied this to some watercolor paper. That might be a better route for some people, but feel free to sketch right on the paper that you're working with. Just making those little sketches gives you a starting point, and then you're not showing up at the blank page with no ideas. Stay focused during the whole month on seeing your art style emerge. That's what kept me motivated the most during Inktober, was, do I have a style? And if I have 30 pictures to look at, will I see it? And I did. At the end of the 31 days, I had several characters and I had at least one of my art styles kind of pinned down. It wasn't necessarily the style I was hoping for, but it was one of my styles had emerged from that challenge. You want to look at what do you see in common with your content, the art pages you're making. Are the characters similar? Is there one character that you keep recreating over and over? Those are all things to focus on, that sometimes with 1 or 2 drawings in a month, it takes a lot longer to see what your style is. But if you do some of these challenges like FEYbruary, you start seeing your style emerge, because it's going to repeat itself. Characters you like drawing are going to repeat themselves. Just know that if you focus on getting each drawing done, and if you know you may not be able to get to it today, skip it. If you get behind, just pick up where you left off, or skip ahead to the day it is. Don't worry about getting behind. That's because it's so easy. I'm 5 days behind. I'm failing. I'm not going to do this. Pick up where you left off on any challenge, not just this. If you're doing a writing challenge, a poetry challenge, it doesn't matter how many days you missed. Just start the day that you're able to start again. And so this challenge is no different. Staying focused on the end result of seeing your style emerge, and the other part of that is having a body of work. A filled sketchbook, a filled file folder, a digital file folder full of digital art. Let's say you're just learning digital art, like I am. This would be a great challenge to practice that. But just know that at the end of the month, you're going to have almost 30 more drawings than you have right now. And at least for me, that's really motivating, to be able to see my art on paper and see that much of it. I don't know if you're like me, but over my life, I would concentrate on art for a little while and then it would get pushed to the back burner. And what I think is really nice about these challenges is it's building up my foundation of artwork. So rather than just having 1 or 2 a month, I now have several things I'm doing every month. And during challenge months like this, I'm going to have 30 more images to add to my collection of art. Whatever goal you find for yourself for this month, that can be just making faces for the prompts. Let's say you have a favorite anime character or character you like to draw. Try incorporating that character into each day's prompts. Or if you like cats, make the prompt around a cat. So use your interests to bring to your artwork. So if all you want to do is work on faces, or just do a simple sketch in a sketchbook each day, that's fine. It doesn't have to be a finished work of art. It can be as simple as taking a page and making a face every day. It doesn't have to be a full-fledged artwork. It can be a simple sketch or a simple drawing or a simple painting. And if you're just beginning, that's all it should be. You can doodles, work in 2x3, so just little sizes, 5x5. Maybe you just focus on 2x3 drawings or each day, and 1 large drawing or painting at the end of the week. So taking, a look at all your small drawings over the course of the week, and then on Saturday or Sunday when you maybe have more time, you pick the best and do 1 large portrait. That may be even something I'll think about. That's, a really great idea. So if you have one of those small sketchbooks, maybe your goal is just to fill that up. And if you're just starting, maybe it's just learning how to draw a face every day and drawing a face on a page every day, kind of based on the prompt word, but maybe it's just getting the portions of the face right over 29 days. That's okay too. So you decide, it's your challenge. Please share the prompt list freely with others and friends and encourage other people to join you and join me as we go through FEYbruary. And I hope you enjoyed watching me just kind of sketch out my thumbnails, and know that if you come back here, hopefully each day, life gets busy sometimes for me as well. So I will post as regularly as possible through FEYbruary, but just know some days there may be a lag and I might miss a day and have to upload to the next day. So I'm going to do my best to stay caught up, but just know life happens, and my family takes precedence over this challenge. So if I have other obligations I have to meet, that will definitely, offset this month's challenge. But I'm committing to doing a drawing a day for the month of February and getting that on social media and YouTube. But we'll see how it goes, because the best intentions sometimes don't always turn out. So I have my little thumbnails done, and I hope this has inspired you to maybe give this a try, whether it's one drawing or several. I'm Ari. This is Shamelessly Creative. I wish you a great day and a great vacation.